tonight. I got my state pension on April 23rd, and on April 26th I started another project. What I should be retiring from is being a serial social entrepreneur, but I can't actually stop doing that. I find it far too much fun. And what's coming up now is something which is going to go around this country and is going to spread, and you are going to help it this evening to do that.
Okay, Mike, well, everybody's got plenty to read in front of them, but can we start off by saying, how did you get involved in the project to start with?
Well, my son over in Australia, he lives in Sydney, and he knows what I do, and he was hearing about what's called the men's shed movement, which is a very strange thing in a sense, isn't it? Because there you've got, if you think of a man's shed, well, these are communal men's sheds really, all full of pots of paint, bits of glue, and bits of wood, and everything else that comes in. It's a wonderful thing. What you're seeing behind you, by the way, is because we're a complete start-up. I mean, literally, we were doing that last week. We got our first bit of publicity last week. Printed publicity. That's just us putting our shed together, literally, the two of us.
Okay. Do you want to just tell a little bit about what the problem is?
Yeah, what the problem is really is that there are loads of men, but not all men of course, but there are loads of men who feel redundant, who feel lonely, and feel socially isolated, socially excluded really, following redundancy or retirement. It's a very difficult period, particularly for men. We actually see ourselves through our work very often, and what we do, as it were. So it becomes a great problem. And if you're one of the set of men that are going to be, maybe your family's moved away, perhaps you haven't got a great deal of money, certain conditions like that, then you're liable to be one of the group that the Mental Health Foundation estimates that there's up to 25% of men over 65 have a serious enough level of depression to require treatment, but probably only 1% go to a doctor.
Okay, Mike. Well, how do you see the shed addressing that problem?
Well, the shed is a great sort of leveller in a way. Everybody comes in and mucks in. It's a project which will address the needs for company and address the need for activity. A shed in itself, what men actually want is something practical. This is from research as well as from observation. They want something that's practical, they want something that's in their community, they want something that's purposeful, actually has an outcome, as it were, and they want to do that in a situation where there is mutual respect and sort of a degree of mutuality about the whole thing. So you work together to achieve these aims. That's what people want. Sheds do this beautifully, of course, because you have to work with other people to get a lot of the things made that you want to make, and it relates to the local community. People ask you if you can come and help, and so you get 3 or 4 or 5. You go out and you make a ramp for somebody that's got needs a disabled ramp or whatever it happens to be. There are great ways of doing this, and of course, a great use of people's otherwise wasted time.
Right, and so where's the project up to so far?
What's happened so far is that I went and found 2 friends of mine who were prepared to set up a charitable association. We have we've managed to find superb premises. I mean, this is a fantastic room compared with something I was in. We have a fantastic room. We've managed to fit it out between us. We've left plenty of space for other people to contribute what they want to put in there. We've managed to get tools with lovely examples of putting like 4 lines in a local paper, just saying we're doing something for old men, and has anybody got any tools? We've got 8 carloads of tools, and it's like these widows who treasure their husband's tools and whatever, and just want to find a good home for them, And so and firms have given us wood, as soon as you say to the companies, this is what you're doing, they say, oh, come, you can have this, you can have this, My local building site is being daily raided by me. In fact, all those are done with 4x2s in there, which have actually come off a housing project. I've made my bench that way.
So where do you think we'll be in 6 months' time, and in the future?
Well, what's going to happen is we're going to get, over the next 6 months to a year, we'll have about 50 guys coming to the project. We will involve them in activities which, some of which they, you know, are not woodwork. There'll be other activities that people bring their own enthusiasm, and we'll try and engage and spread that around. We will look at ways in which we can be sustainable. We're going to look at ways in which things we can make. I mean, I don't. It seems quite easy to make a skittle set, for example. You know, if you've got a lathe, and you know, there are jobs you can do in the local community, that sort of thing, ways of earning money that way. And I think the other thing, and the most important thing perhaps, is we are going to be a model. There are 6 other sheds in the country at the moment. They're all run by Age Concern, or Age UK as it is now. We are the first shed that is going to be run and started by a group of blokes. And I'm going to publicise that through a different website called Camden Shed UK. And that is going to promote the idea that any group of blokes like us two here can come together and we can make that thing happen.